Let's just wait for some more viewers. So for
I
us to.
believe
Mhm.
Tobias is joining us today.
Yes, yes, he is supposed to be here at 10, and I added the link of the stream on the.
Yep.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Yeah.
Also, I already have my ring light. Better lighting now. Okay, let's go. I'm just gonna. We have no viewers yet, so let's just wait. But
It's
it's
okay.
okay as we wait for Sir Tobias as well. I'm just
Sir
gonna.
Tobias. Sir Tobias.
It's just me, you know. I always I don't know. It's just a Filipino culture, I think.
Yeah. It's fun. There he is.
Hey, how's it
There he
going?
is. Hey, how are you doing, guys? Oh my God, I don't look so good.
You look great. What are you talking about?
It's morning. Oh my God, my camera is a bit glitchy.
Yeah, well, when I walk around life is glitchy, so
Yeah.
all good.
Oh,
We're
welcome Therese. Welcome Ben and Tobias. This is the first episode of Office Hours, and I'm your host Harley. Good morning, everyone. Oh my God, it's.
good.
Mhm.
Good
Go ahead.
morning. I was just to say good morning, everyone.
Good morning, and Therese, Tobias. Good morning. How are you guys doing today? Have you guys
Good
had
morning.
enough?
I'll let Maurice go.
Therese?
Oh, Therese, sorry, I thought you said Maurice. My bad.
I
Sorry,
was like,
Therese.
wait, who's Maurice?
It's
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, good
Please, you go
morning,
ahead.
Tobias. Good morning, Ben. It's nice to meet you guys and put some faces to the names and get a chance to explore Playfix with you guys today.
Perfect. Yeah, welcome. Glad to be here. Tobias, CEO of Playfix, and excited to be here as well to talk about AI and everything in between. But I
And
will say though, there's the I didn't realize that it was the NBA play-in tournament is happening right now. So next
oh my
time
God.
we'll have to have that on the third or the fifth camera here.
Well, we can have. I mean, we can add cameras.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay.
I didn't know you were into basketball.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love basketball.
Yeah. Who's playing and how many goals do they need to win a touchdown?
I see what you did there. It's the Lakers and the Pelicans, and it's
I'll go with
38
Lakers.
seconds left in the game, and the Lakers are up by 2 points.
Of
I'll go with
course.
Lakers
Yeah, of course, not surprised there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just because it's Lakers. So, Therese,
What's up?
have you tried the chatbot creation website already, or have you visit? I thought you also read the white paper.
I was reading through the white paper and I was checking out the chatbot creation. I kind of got hung up on it because of the fact that I primarily operate on mobile. I'm for you guys. I'm a
Mm.
truck driver by trade, so I'm actually driving right now. so
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to do things on the PC all the time. So I checked it out with the mobile, but I think I got stuck at a certain part of the process because you guys aren't mobile compatible yet, correct?
Yeah, the chatbots really are. I think for editing them, you definitely want to be on a
Mm.
on a desktop right now. Just because, like, they create these chatbots. Really, what you're doing is you're uploading documents and you're adding sites and stuff like that. So, um, We hadn't really thought about the mobile use case. You don't really edit these things that often, right? You might set them up, especially if you're a business or a project, you'd set them up once and then maybe update them. If you have a new document published or a new site that comes out or something. But it's good feedback. We could think about adding that to the roadmap, especially if we go more down the road of like creating personalized chatbots that aren't just for projects but for personal use.
Well, I was actually thinking about using it for personal use.
Okay, yeah. Well, what would you use it for?
Well, oops, sorry about the noise. It's telling me I'm driving too fast. Um,
Oh,
so
drive fast.
yeah.
So
I'm in the backwoods of West Virginia right now, so speed limits vary. Um, so the main thing I would use it for is I'm a game of big Web3 enthusiast. So I tend to read white papers like a lot. I tend to go through a lot of like the tokenomics and roadmaps and in-depth aspects of projects just to see if I have an interest in it beyond the gaming aspect. And I feel like if I could upload these documents, index the sites, maybe index their Twitter feed, or any number of use cases where I can input that information into the bot, and it would give me the opportunity to discuss with the bot, ask questions to the bot, and have it guide
Hmm.
me on the aspects of the projects that I would want to regularly explore.
Yeah, yeah. That's an awesome use case, and another use case that is similar. Somebody we were talking to earlier this week wanted to do chat bots for games and then get just help with the game, right? Like, hey, I've got this character or I'm at this point. What do I do? Like, give me some tips or whatever. Or tell me, like, what are the chances of my character being, in the NFT space? Do I have a special character with special traits? Um, I think in your case, what we could do, and something that we definitely want to do, is to just have a bigger library, right? Like, you shouldn't. I think if there's a project out there like a new game, we should already have the chatbot kind of ready to go, so you can just, oh, cool, check out this game. The chatbot's already kind of done up, and then you can start conversing with it to see if it's something that you'd be interested in. And I mean, in addition to making it easy for people to create chatbots on their own, but I would love to solve both of those problems. Ben, what do you think about that?
Well, I like the idea of indexing Twitter feeds because it's, as someone who's written a lot of documentation for platforms and products before, sometimes that gets delayed. So having a way of actually collecting like up to date information as it's released. So not just a blog post as it's out, but things like a Twitter feed or socials, Reddit threads, stuff like that. It's an interesting idea of having a chatbot up to date with the most recent information without having to constantly go back and add more manual documentation because it's kind of doing double the work, creating the documentation and then things. So it's a really
Yeah.
interesting idea. Um, and yeah, I like it. I've already got it down here. I've already written it down as a potential feature. So thank you, Taris.
And of,
Tarek,
of course, you want to see that on mobile, right? Just kind of
Mm.
scrolling through and checking things out.
See, I
yeah,
think I think for the mobile aspect,
Yeah.
creating an app that allows you to have a chat companion would solve not just a lot of issues about asking questions and having something to discuss certain specific topics with, but like even from like a brainstorming and productivity aspect, something along the lines of a school study buddy even. Like there's so many ways that you can utilize something that you can index with the information you need. So instead of doing flashcards, you can ask it to ask you relevant questions to chapter 19 for your anatomy book that may potentially be on a quiz.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the. I love that use case. I kind of went down the spaced repetition rabbit hole last year. Have you been into that at all? Do you know what spaced repetition is?
No.
There's a yeah, there's like it's I think it's from like a scientist like back in the 1950s. They studied kind of like knowledge retention and recall, and they kind of figured out that there was an optimal time based on how good at you are recalling something, for you to get introduced to it again. So let's just say that there's 10 items, and the first one you don't really remember, you can't answer the flashcard question. And then in if you didn't have good recall of that, then they would say, okay, you need to be reminded of this thing tomorrow to help improve your recall of this fact. And then you got the next one, number two, and you had really good recall of that, then they would say, okay, we don't need to remind you about this for another 5 days. So it's called spaced repetition, and this algorithm that people use, and especially if they're using flashcards, it's a common thing. It's hard to do it with paper, but there's some apps that will help you do it. And last year, like one of the very first things I built with GPT was a spaced repetition flashcard app, actually. And it never really got any traction, but it was a cool project just to kind of get get some experience working with LLMs and handling responses, and because these LLMs, right, especially in the beginning, when you would ask it things like you're like, hey, give me 10 questions back, and I want it in this format, it wouldn't always do what you asked, so you had to kind of figure out how to ask it the right way and how to handle the responses and format it and stuff like that. So yeah, that app was the very first one. So I'm with you on it. I think it's a really cool use case. And to tie it back to the chatbots for games and whatnot, like yeah, the mobile app experience would be great. Would you want a mobile app not just for kind of communicating, but would you use it for discovery as well, do you think?
If I had something that would give me the ability, like I use Copilot a lot already. I use ChatGPT,
Same.
and I'll use it for generally a lot of the questions that I'll have around like ideas about either development or the Web3 space. A lot of my I guess niche in the space is ideas in general ideas. I'm kind of like the idea guy. I don't have the specialty to build on my ideas, but I come up with a lot of different ideas. So I'll actually ask ChatGPT or Copilot if the idea is feasible, how I could potentially go about it, what avenues to explore for it. So I tend to use them pretty often. I think if I had a companion app for my phone that was native to the phone that could take voice prompts rather than just text prompts, it would increase my productivity like tenfold because I could do it while I'm driving then,
Hmm.
not just having to focus on typing it out and you know
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw the directory. So there's on our site, right? We have the chatbot editor where you can create chatbots, and then we have a directory on another page of our site. And there's a decent amount there. It's not as big as we want it to be. We're kind of working through how we're going to scale that right now, and we definitely want to work with the community on scaling that part. But the vision of that directory is to provide that discovery aspect, for people, so that if you are just somewhere scrolling on your phone, you can come to our page and like, what are the new gaming projects, right? And okay, cool, that one looks interesting, and then click in, and then it's okay. Instead of having to read through a 10 to 15 page white paper, just ask it a few questions, or even better yet, just press one of the pre-filled questions, like give me the summary of the project, and then kind of go from there. So yeah, that discovery
Yeah.
component, I think, something we definitely want to, and we plan on solving in the near-term future here.
I can imagine over time that as we build a bigger database of projects and partner projects, that will eventually create a singular sort of all Web3 projects chat that taps into all of the knowledge bases of every project on the platform. So you could, like you said, Taris, press a button, tell me, and say, what current projects are trending, what's hot right now. And then it can do a lookup, and it can go and find, what are the top 5 projects that are trending on CoinGecko. And then you could quite easily just say, oh, tell me about this project. And it can go and then say, oh, well, here's a summary of the project. So like that's not out of the reach of what we're building.
Yeah, that
You could even add like a scraper aspect to it, where it scrapes Twitter data, or even like CoinGecko, or even like APIs for websites to kind
Yeah.
of gather that information automatically.
Well, we're already partway through a integration with CoinGecko. So
Okay.
yeah, we do have, I think, in the labs right now, there's 2 that we've been working on. And CoinGecko is one of them. So we haven't really rolled it out. We haven't really been promoting it, but for some of the projects that have tokens in, you can actually ask it right now to create a graph for you, and it will go out. So the project has to have the token on it, like the CoinGecko token, whatever that ticker is there. And then if you ask it to give you like market analysis, I think we can do up to 30 days. It will go out, get the data from CoinGecko, digest it, create a graph for you. So it will then create your own custom price chart of that token's price over a certain period of time, and then it'll send you back the chart, and then provide the financial analysis underneath that. So yeah, that one, I think we probably want to, before we promote that one heavily, I think we want to make sure it's working well. But yeah, that one's almost ready. And then, yeah, I do have the Twitter one also added. And again, it's just kind of going through the paces right now. The Twitter one's interesting though. I think because we can, right now it's connected, and it will do a search on a term. So I think right now it's the default is it will search for the project's name on Twitter. And then we get back a bunch of tweets. And right now I think I have it just doing sentiment analysis. So it's checking and saying, oh, what is the overall sentiment? And then I think it's kind of janky though, because from the return set of tweets, like we're not turning back obviously all the searches, right? So we'll just get whatever the last 20 tweets are that mention that project's name. And then from there, we do sentiment analysis, and it's kind of hit or miss. Or the sentiment's all over the place, I guess, is the summary. Like there's like for Bitcoin, when it's reaching its all-time highs, like some people are saying it's good and some people are saying it's bad. I don't know. But I think there for the Twitter side, it would be good to maybe understand what people actually want to know from Twitter. Like what is it? What is the actual insight? I've talked to people, and like some people want to see, like, hey, if a project makes a post, what is the engagement? And then not only what is the engagement, but calculate the engagement based on how many followers it has. So, and then is it in
Bot detection and recognition kind of thing?
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
help
Being
with
gained.
that.
Yeah. Or just make sure, like, if they've got if they have 1 million followers and they get 20 likes, that ratio is too low, right?
Yeah. It's an automatic red flag as a bot network kind of deal.
Yeah. So I think just driving and actually, let me just open the question to you. What would you want to see? Like, if you could have the bot tell you something about Twitter, what would you want to know?
Analytics for one. Analytics definitely go a long way to like helping me see how well either a project is doing in the public eye, but also like how shilly it is. If it's forced engagement through like hashtags, I would love to be able to see what percentage of the tweets about it are actual shill posts for engagement, or like just actual posts about the project, and what the sentiment is on the posts that aren't paid posts. Like you know how like Block and Bubble and Param and all those are doing the socialify engagement, and you gotta engage on Twitter to get the airdrop. I want to see like legitimate sentiment, not just people that are trying to make a quick quick buck off the project. Because like I personally I hated Block. I thought Block was gonna fail from the moment I tried it.
Mm.
And then I saw what they did a couple of days ago with the airdrop, and I kind of laughed internally a little, even though I felt bad for the people who got suckered into it. You know?
Yeah. No, that's really good insight. The posts that are like, yeah, you're giving away money, right, or tokens or whatever. So yeah, there's going to be high engagement on those, but
Yeah,
for the
sorry, sir, to interrupt, but
yeah.
we have a guest here, and I want to welcome Jimbo. He's from Flow Community, and yeah, he's also a legend. So welcome, Jimbo. Thank you for coming today.
Welcome, Jimbo.
Hey, welcome. I forgot what I was talking about there.
You were talking about the newly to be released patented Playfix patented Shilometer.
Oh yeah, the Shilla
Yeah,
meter.
there we go.
Yeah, no, that's the kind of insight I think. Yeah, we wanna
Mm.
help with. And I've actually, outside of Playfix, I was playing around with, just experimenting to see what it could do. And one of the AI tools that is actually more helpful is I took a screenshot of the project's timeline and then fed the screenshot to the AI and said, okay, analyze this and tell me, what do you see and what did you learn from this? And that one actually gave me really good insight on like the engagement per post, and it calculated, okay, well, if you have 1 to 2% engagement, like 1% or 2% of your followers engaging on your posts, that's a pretty good ratio. And so this, that I think that page was doing well. But now I think, yeah, can you go a level deeper and be like, hey, the type of post, can you look at the engagement on the kind of post? So that's really good feedback.
Or
Um,
even to be able to have it where it can give recommendations on how you can improve your post, improve your engagement, um, how you can more effectively market your project. I mean, that would hurt people like me or like Harley, who kind of have a space where we do things like that, where we help projects to figure out their directions and what they would like to what they should be doing to move forward and to progress. But it would give project founders who might not have the marketing budget or the budget for somebody to pay directly the opportunity to maybe pay a subscription to the bot, or maybe pay a one-time fee to get access to the bot to help them with their project, marketing wise, engagement wise, directionally, based on project data from other projects within their same niche, be it gaming, be it DeFi, be it AI, you know?
yeah,
Well,
Ben,
on the
some
yeah,
thoughts on that.
well, I was going to talk about the marketplace, and it fits really nicely with what Taras is saying. Is we have planned a full bot marketplace, and one of the functions of the marketplace are anyone, again, no code, anyone can create a bot specifically within that niche, like you say, but that can be a subscription access only. So you could have a subscription fee to access that bot. So Taras, you could be building a bot, adding these projects, adding information, making sure that what goes in is correct, and curated, but then chart, like, you could have this as a subscription access only. So that's part of the marketplace that we've got coming up, which all kind of rolls into, like, you build a website specifically for it using the builder, and then you've got this bot that people can access through a crypto-based subscription or a cash-based subscription. So those opportunities are out there, absolutely. And everyone can be involved and try and make some money. So you're going to have these specialists, for instance, I could quite easily evaluate AI-focused crypto projects. I could look at everything and I could go, yeah, this is a solid project. And then, because I have that sort of knowledge of the capabilities of AI. But if it was to be a Web3 gaming chatbot, then I'm out of my league, right? So you could
Yeah.
find people who have these specialist skill sets that are very focused and niche, can build bots and a community around these bots that are serving people, specific niches, and as you said, can help promote and market specific um, releases or airdrops. Or, I mean, you understand, like it
Yeah.
becomes a community hub. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Cool. Uh, and yeah, we're talking a lot about chatbots, and Ben touched on a few things that talk to our company and what we're doing. And I think this will actually, what I'm going to say here will help answer some of Ren's questions in the chat here. So there are many chatbots on the market. I think a lot of them are outside of Web3, and a lot of them are in Web3 now. And the question that, or kind of the question that Ren had, and then kind of some of the things that Ben was alluding to, like who we are and the direction that we're headed. And we are headed into the direction, clearly it's on our website and in more details on our white paper, but we're going and helping the Web3 kind of builder community. So these chatbots, right now they were kind of a first version release to get us out there and get people using it, and then let people know that we're a real team. The next iteration of tools that we're building, such as the Web3 Builder, where you can go to an interface and type in a prompt and it can build Web3 applications, not just websites, but full functioning applications. That kind of shows to the direction that we're headed, which is helping the Web3 builder community. And if you look at kind of bigger picture, what we want to do is even enable that whole ecosystem, right? Like you create a website, and let's say that you wanted to launch a token with that website. Well, you go to our marketplace, and if you're not a developer and you're not a token expert, and you go and find a token contract in our marketplace that has been audited and certified and has great security. So then you add that to your new website that you're launching for your project, whether it's a token launch or an NFT. And then now you've got a contract and you've got a website all within one ecosystem. And then let's say you wanted to have a chatbot too. Well, now you click on the chatbot settings, give us some documentation or knowledge that you want to have that chatbot trained on. And so now you've got a contract, a website, and a customer service agent all in one package. And that's our lane, right? We're claiming a stake in that area. And so hopefully, Ren, that answered some of your questions here. Maybe we can get to some of them later, but I'll pause right there and just see if anybody else has a comment.
I think that's pretty cool. I was actually. Oh, go ahead, Harley.
Yeah, sorry. I was just about to read the question from the community. It says, "How does Playfix AI chatbots differs from other AI NFT platforms that people have known and used before? Uh, the, what are the advantages of having Playfix chatbots for beginners who wants to involve in NFTs and Web3 community?" That's a good question. And it's too long. But how and why Playfix come up on the chatbots, the idea of the chatbots?
Okay, so hopefully we answered how it differs. Right now, the feature set definitely is similar to others on the market, and that was a great starting point for us. And from there, we're growing that into the direction of helping Web3 builders ship amazing projects quickly and at a lower cost. For beginners, if you're a beginner out there in NFTs or Web3, go to our directory page and start clicking around on the projects that we have there. And you can learn about some of the really good projects that are in the market right now, and then some up and coming ones. So it's a great way to educate yourself on what's happening in the community right now. Why we came up with it? Yeah, I think this really was about looking into the future and seeing, where the state of technology is going. And it's clearly headed in this, AI is going to help automate a lot of things in our future. And then how could we as a company position ourselves to play in that arena? There's going to be a tremendous amount of value created for everybody here. And I think we wanted to be there. And we were, I think, just as founders, like Ben and I, you know, Ben came onto the team later, but me as a founder and then Ben joining a little bit later, just deeply, deeply passionate about these LLMs, like what's happening in generative AI overall, and just wanting to be involved. My background, like I joined Amazon Cloud's business in Seattle back in 2008. And I was young back then. I was like 26 and just didn't know that much about technology at all. But what that did to me, like being involved at that point, like cloud computing was such a nascent industry, but being involved early and then having basically like a 15 to 20 year career built off of just being early in an industry like that. So if you're looking at AI right now, that's what this is. I mean, Web3 is like this too. We're so early. If you get in on it and find a way to contribute, to get skilled in this area, you have a good, 15, 20 years of a career here, maybe even longer. Yeah. So that's why.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I've, as Tobias said, I've came in after, but I also have, this deep passion for AI and what it can do. So I've built so many products over the last 20 odd years. And the big thing is I'm not a developer, right? I understand code, but I am not a developer. Don't trust my code. But I've always wanted a room full of developers. So when I have an idea, again, back to what Taras was saying, you have these ideas, but you don't know where to start. Like, how do I actually get this built? How do I do it? Where do I go? And all my life, I've been like, I really wish I had like a whole whack of cash that I could just have this team of developers. So when I have an idea, we can go in, we can build it, we can launch it and see what happens. And for me, the most exciting thing is AI gives us the ability to have a team of developers at our fingertips. Today, when I use AI to build tools, it is literally using a VS Code, an IDE, and I copy paste code into the thing, and I get GPT to tell me how to run it, which is time consuming and difficult, and there's a lot of because it's not an easy task. One of the things that really attracts me about the Playfix project is that web builder, and it's the concept. So, as Tobias said, we started out with a chatbot just to show we know what we're doing. We have a product here as we're getting it out. We're building foundational stuff. Now we're building the web builder, which makes projects, makes websites, multi-page, solving a few of the problems with the AI web builders. But in the future, there's a good chance these things will help you build entire products. And you won't be copy pasting code from here into a VS. You'll be using a chat interface or a similar type of interface to make the design and then tell the button what to do. When I click this button, I want it to add something to the database or go and connect information from this API or whatever. And for me, the exciting thing about AI is that it enables people to be able to build whatever they want, whenever they want, without having to spend 10 years learning how to code and infrastructure and networking and cloud computing, like all of this stuff. That's the most exciting thing about AI, and I think why following along the Playfix journey would be, for me, incredibly exciting. And that kind of leads into the next question about like beginners. Like, how can you encourage beginners to use? Oh, yeah. Well, there was one from Dandy previously. How do you encourage beginners to use Playfix, especially those who don't know how to use these sorts of things? And I think it's just like anything else, just sort of go in, click around, and just test it out. It's very straightforward. And over time, these chatbots will just be like any other chat on a website. So a project comes up and there's the chatbot and you can ask it questions. And the good thing about AI is you can say, tell me information about this project in a simple, explain it to me like I'm 5.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have that huge level of understanding to read the white paper and understand the math behind it. Let the AI understand it and tell it to you in a way that you can understand and comprehend, that works specifically for you.
Yeah. There's also too, if people are interested, so there's using the front end of these tools, and then if you want to understand like what's happening in the background, that's where I think we can start to do a better job of educating people. I mean, none of this stuff that we're doing is really, like state secrets, right? I mean, we use places like Reddit, and like last year I created this site called Discover Gen AI, and I wrote, several courses about how to build applications that work with, with different language models. And so I'm an educator in this space and love to teach people overall. And so if you want to go beyond just using these things, understand like, hey, when I upload a document to Playfix, like what happens, right? Because we don't just like send that document to a chatbot. We process that document, like we break it down into chunks. We convert those chunks into what's called an embedding, which is an array of numbers. And this is how a certain kind of database works, like when we store it in a vector database. And then when a search comes in, we like again convert the user search into an array of numbers, and then do a similarity search on that database, and then send those results to the LLM, and then send the response back to you. So like that whole process is really fascinating, and if people are interested in it technically, or at least kind of understanding it more than just from an end user perspective, then we have materials now. But I think, Ben, you and I could probably maybe on our site somewhere or in our documentation just talk about this stuff more, because it is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's nice to to have this newbies. The question from Dandy is how to encourage. It's for me, how to encourage them is to show them what are the things that they can benefit it from. So what are the things that they can use it for, making their life easier, or showing them how can be it a help for them. And Ben actually started the, what they call that again, it's the prompting, AA prompting sessions, the first weeks that we've launched, and we can still do that. Yeah.
Hmm.
And for those who's interested in learning um, AI prompting, you can just go to our Discord, and we can schedule another session of AI prompting.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good topic, and maybe there's, because we want to do these on a regular basis, these office hours, and of course have different guests come through, and maybe we have a chance to kind of talk more with our guests here, because we've been kind of monologuing. But uh, if we do these regularly, then maybe have like a prompting 101. I don't know if it has to be a
Yeah.
whole session, but maybe 10 to 15 minutes for any newcomers. And we can kind of set that agenda ahead of time. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure that prompting can be super in depth too, though. Like if you really want to get into like prompt engineering and how to truly utilize AI in the most efficient way, because I know some people are like wizards with it. It's like magic. They put in a couple of paragraphs and they come out with either an amazing scripted essay or article, or they come out with these amazing like mid journey creations. It can get very complex from what I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I know
I
we have part of our engine is like taking a user prompt for, like, the web builder is probably one of the more complicated ones I've had to work on myself, because it takes in a user prompt about a visual part of a web page, and then it's we're not writing code. We actually have our own kind of like language model about how we want to take in these queries and then represent the features on the web page. Because if you went down the coding route, you're like, hey, we'll write code for every request, then all of a sudden you're talking about like super high token usage, and it's going to be very slow, because there's some parts of coding that are like really verbose. And I'm looking at you, SVG. You're very verbose. uh, so we don't want it to like recode everything. So we translate it a couple times to different things and send it back to the front end. And that one, yeah, to get those things working consistently, you do have to be very good at prompting. A little pat on my back, I guess. Nah, just kidding. Uh,
Yeah.
half the time, I just want to pull my hair out, though.
But we were dealing with a prompt issue this morning. So first off, hi Beatrice, hi Oh Boy, hi Gojo. So we're working on integration with Discord. So then your chatbot on your site also integrates into your Discord. And we were working on, there's a character limitation with a message that could be sent by a bot in Discord. So we were working on using prompt engineering on how do we get the prompt to always be within that limit of characters. So it's like 2,000 characters. So when you send off the query, the response from the language models has to know, well, I have to answer this entire question and start to finish within this amount of characters. So you've got so many different layers to prompt engineering, not just write me an article about X. There's like so many additional layers, which can be complex, but also follows some fairly static rules, which I don't think are sort of, they're foundational stuff that you can then build on. So it's not like a particularly difficult kind of place to start. And I don't know why my camera froze, but it's saying, hey.
My camera is freezing as well. That's why I turn it off. I kind of look like it's freezing.
It's restream. That's what it is.
And it's morning, in the Philippines, if it's morning, the internet is really not that good. That's why I even work at night.
As far as the Discord issue, I'm just curious. Couldn't you allow it to have more than 2,000 characters in its response, but require that it send the message before it hits the 2,000 character limit, like 1,500 character chunks, including white space and special characters?
You can, but that's sort of adding additional complexity to like most people, I believe, just require a fairly straightforward answer. And 2,000 characters, I mean, that's still a fair amount of information. A tweet used to be 160 characters, so that you could get a fair bit of information into it. So it was more about how you can use prompt engineering to semi-replace coding. Like instead of having to build in code limitations and additional functions to, well, when it gets to here, split it out, make this a separate sentence, a separate paragraph, send it as 2 messages, so that you've just introduced a complexity of code. Using prompt engineering to get it to manage the limitations is I think where a lot of value in understanding prompt engineering, such as like system messages and appended instructions within a prompt. They can go a long way.
Yeah, I was thinking too about the different kinds of AI users and or professionals there are out there, right? Like prompt engineering, I think this could be kind of classified as like a power user of LLMs, right? You understand how the LLMs process prompts and what they're doing, like how they're translating these words and looking for matches in their models, right? So there's like a power user prompt engineering person. Second one would be like a chatbot designer, right? Like somebody who understands that LLMs are a point in time snapshot of data, right? Like we've all seen that, right? Like, hey, this data in the very beginning, it was like a year old. The model didn't have very up-to-date data, but they're getting better at kind of refreshing it. But the point still stands, like if there's a new project today, it's not going to be in the LLM. So the chatbot designer then understands, okay, we're going to make a chatbot on Playfix, and we know we need to get custom data in there. And we're going to make sure that there's enough data for the chatbot to answer good questions. And let's say we look at a project's data, like their website and their white paper, but then we think, well, maybe users are going to make queries that are kind of hard to answer by just looking at this white paper. So I might, as like a chatbot designer, decide like, well, let me go ahead and generate a list of 20 common FAQs from the white paper, and I can use an LLM to do that if I want. So I generate the FAQ, and then I also feed that to the chatbot in addition to all the other data that I'm feeding it. So I think a chatbot designer like knows things from that perspective. And then there's developers, right? There's AI, like I guess application developers where you know how to build web apps or mobile apps, and you know how to work with REST APIs basically, and you're building these applications that can interact with like OpenAI or Claude. And then that's kind of where I'm at, by the way. Um, and then beyond that, obviously, is like machine learning, the whole world of actual AI engineering. So I don't know about that, but that would be, I guess, the fourth category. So, um, yeah, for anybody kind of looking to get into space, yeah, that's kind of how I see the world in those four different roles right now.
There's a question here from Ren. What are the other things that we might see in Playfix in the long run?
Yeah, so the chatbot is the first one. The web builder I'm actively working on right now to get that up and running for at first for demo purposes and being able to show prototypes of Web3 applications that we can build from it. So it'll go through its own progression of here it is, here's it's working, and then we'll roll it out slowly in a private beta before it gets to end customers. And really, that one alone, if we got that working well this year, and it was one of the top AI Web3 editors, or is the top one, like I don't know anybody else doing what we're doing right now in this space. I know there's website builders, but those are very, very different than what we're doing. If we get that thing working well this year and get people using it, and it's helping people ship Web3 apps, 2024 will be a success in my books. It will be a significant milestone for us, and I think for a lot of people in the Web3 space. So that plus, the marketplace. When we're thinking about the Playfix business model, I look to WordPress as a parallel, right? WordPress dominated Web 2. I was looking up some stats the other day, and WordPress, powered, according to this research, I don't know how accurate it is, but they said up to 40% of the internet's websites. If that's a good thing or bad thing, that's up to you. But it was powering a ton of websites, but even more impressive, it has a $600 billion a year economy attached to it. So everybody from developers that are shipping, plugins or shipping themes or working with it from a developer point of view, to designers creating themes, hosting providers, agencies building on top of it. It's this whole awesome ecosystem. And I want to build that for Web3. I want to create this place where people can build things, both from no matter what your role is in this space, whether you're designer, developer, or a project person. I want to create that ecosystem where you can use these AI tools to bring things to market, sell them on our marketplace, create chatbots, make money, ship projects, have a good time. So this year, I think, the Web3 builder and the marketplace and the chatbots all integrated together into one ecosystem would be an awesome achievement for us. And then beyond that, we haven't really thought about much else, because that's pretty
huge amount of work.
Yeah.
The more conversations that we're going to do like this one, there will be more ideas that will be brought up. So it is good to have these conversations with other people that has different perspectives as well. Like Therese, he wants the gaming,
Yeah.
he wants it for his gaming, and the other part is for his brainstorming. So we can bring more people that has different needs, and then from there we can create products that is going to be aligned, or that's going to be resolving
Yeah.
even the little problems. That's actually sometimes the most used product, and that's the most successful ones.
Yeah. And
The
actually,
simplest one.
ideally, we would be at a point where Taris can go and just build what he wants with our tools, and we don't
Oh,
actually have to build anything separate.
Mm.
is
That
it? Mhm.
if we get to that point, now we're talking. Now we're talking about a really cool and exciting business.
Mm.
Just builder's builder. That's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If I can go maybe a little granular on what Tobias was saying. So like
yeah.
in the chatbots, so this kind of calls to what Taras is saying is we've got functions. So building in a way of calling APIs within the chatbot. And of course, we discussed subscriptions and then connections with like Discord and other chat tools. And that's just in the chatbot. Um, the Web3, you've got the builder, multiple pages, again, building in functionality. And the long term, I think, for the Web3, which is the what Tobias was touching on, that I'm really excited by, is kind of that replacement of, if anyone knows, Retool, something like that, where it's a little bit more of a actual platform or a product, not just here's an informational site, but here's an actual interactive database builder or whatever. And I'm really excited about that. And of course, the marketplace, having a place where you could go and be a registered builder. So someone who's gone through some sort of skills testing and can build out websites for you. You could just go there and say, hey, build me a site. Or you could be a builder as a, build out clients. So just like WordPress developers build an entire company and, multi-million dollar business building WordPress websites for people, you could be building Playfix websites for people, and you don't need to know code and you don't need a massive
So who's
developer team.
yeah? I just have a question for that. Who's going to be like verifying or certifying um, the skills of the verified builders that will be building things on the marketplace or something?
Yeah, so over time we'll start to build out. So you've over time, as we're building these, we build out documentation. So how to use these tools correctly, how to get the correct output, how to build the function. So it's a step past that. Once these tools are much more out in the wild, a lot more users, we've worked through a lot of the bugs and the user cases, and the documentation then can inform how to build a test. So then it's just essentially, here is an exam, a test, and a submission of that information that would then go, okay, you have enough knowledge, you understand how it works, you understand how the back end works, you understand what it can and cannot do. And at that point, you would get some level of accreditation. This is, there's still a huge amount of work to be done, and it's a small team. So this is not tomorrow it's going to happen. Um, but I think it's something important, because there's not a lot of trust in Web3, I find. Um, so I would like to see at least some projects start to build in, here's how you can have a level of trust within these projects. I'd like to see it.
That's awesome. I mean,
The
like,
trustless of Web3.
mhm.
Yeah, I know. I
But
don't
there's
understand.
mm,
Sorry, Harley.
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I don't understand. I don't understand the lack of trust. I understand in financial transactions there has to be some accountability. That makes perfect sense. That's the foundational reason for blockchain. Um, but the then total sort of absolute desire for anonymity and distrust for anyone actually doing anything within that ecosystem. It's it's this weird sort of paradigm of like, this is the way we should all be doing business. This is the way of the future, but I'm not putting my face to it. I'm not. I'm going to be real quiet. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can trust this system, but we're not going to show you. We're not going to put anything on the line for it. Yeah, it's a weird paradigm that I have trouble wrapping my head around. If you believe in what you do, you should be able to stand behind it, publicly, openly stand behind what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? So
You're talking from like a founder's perspective, like not
I'm
wanting to dox or
Well, I mean, predominantly, yeah, that's one thing. As building bots for for projects, and I'm often looking at their sites, reading through white papers, and very rarely it's 1 in 10 you may see the founding team. So it's like the people who were building these tools and doing launches not standing behind their products. Um, I can understand the requirement for anonymity for the people with their finances. That makes perfect sense. Um, but I think it's more about the people who are building the technology, um, or using the technology in a day to day sort of manner, still being anonymous. Um,
Yeah, and it's interesting too
and
if there's if I can interject here, just the sense that or the fact that if you're not doxxed, I wonder what the ratio, the chances are of like projects that do rug pulls or become scams. Like pretty much everybody's not doxxed, and like the people I know there's still doxed projects who do scams, but I'm guessing there's probably less of them. The projects fail all the time. I mean, this is a startup, so
hmm,
I'm not really counting project failures, but I kind of get what you're saying, Ben. You know, but it's part of the. At the same time, though, it's part of the culture, and I don't know if it'll ever change. And the culture led us to this point, and it's brought about some really cool stuff. Like
hmm,
imagine all the cool. I mean, Satoshi himself wasn't doxxed, right? And look what kind of was created through the work that he did. So I've kind of like just given into it. Like, okay, it is what it is, and do your research, as they say.
hmm,
We've come a long way from Bitcoin too, though.
hmm,
Yeah,
Like I feel like they're kind of bastardizing Bitcoin right now with the whole ordinals thing and trying to implement the smart contracts onto something that was originally and intentionally left kind of plain as a ledger for a decentralized like financial system. But with like Ethereum, it's a whole tech stack. With a lot of these layer ones that have come out, it's a whole tech stack. It's
hmm,
all technology built to create something. It's a platform. So I mean, we have come a really long way from the
hmm.
decentralized, trustless, distributed ledger to the tech stack, the founding platform for technologies to be built into Web3 in a trustless smart contract method. And as we're starting to do that, a lot of it requires trust because you need to trust the people that are building these things rather than just trusting verification of a transaction across a distributed ledger that's
Exactly.
decentralized, you know? So
Yeah.
it does require, I feel like doxing. It should be a requirement in a lot of these cases. But
Yeah.
even that
And,
doesn't stop some people.
and that's a really good point. Like if you are using this layer of infrastructure built in, say, the Ethereum network, and you're building something that utilizes that, um, at some point they may just pull the rug, and then that project's gone. So then your project is kind of left high and dry because you've built on top of this system. Um,
Yep.
so it's like I have to trust that you're going to stay around and not bail. As Tobias said, yeah, projects fail, startups fail all the time. But there's a difference between a startup failing and having it pulled. Um,
And the
and I think
malicious
and
action. Yeah, I
exactly,
get what you're
yeah, the
saying.
militia. And if you've built infrastructure that people rely on to power their back end, or do whatever within some other system, you're forced to trust them explicitly while they're not, you know, showing that
Yeah,
we're being
required to trust
ethical.
you with their
Yeah,
identity.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it just makes it like really hard. I mean, Google's Google, but they're constantly pulling tools. Do you know what I mean? So it happens. It happens, but at least Google's there's something there. So it's a weird place for an industry to be, trying to rely on technology. Do you know, like, yeah? So
yeah,
that's just it's a weird paradigm for my head to understand. Like, how anyone could build into that system
Hey,
without any, yeah.
sorry to interject, guys, but I've got a meeting to run to. But Harley, thank you so much for setting this up. Thank you, Ben, as well. And Tari, is it Taris or Taris? What's the right way? I could be saying it wrong the whole time.
It's Taurus.
It's
Taris.
Taresh.
Okay, cool. Taris, it was great to meet you, and I hope we can talk again in the future. And great feedback from for us as well, and all the product ideas.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Sensei. Thank
Definitely, I
you.
look forward to it.
Mm. I love Taresh.
it.
He is always ready to rescue me, and he's very he. I like Taresh very much because he reads white paper. Yeah, and we can go on and have some more discussion, or are you going to be somewhere else, Sir Bench? Or
No, no, I can stay on for another 10 minutes if there's any sort of.
yeah, just Therese, do you have anything else, or do you have any question, or for the community members, or for the viewers? We have 1,279 viewers. Oh my god,
Wow. Hi
that's
everyone.
oh my god.
What
I should
happened?
have
What happened to the millions?
thousands. How can I say 1,000 million? Oh my god, that's I I
um,
should I should show my face. Just kidding.
we lost all the viewers because you weren't on camera, bro.
Oh my god, maybe
Um,
that's why I'm not showing my face anymore.
but no, the main one of the other things that I'm really interested in with your project is the Discord integration.
Mm,
Yes.
I'm I'm a Discord moderator for own.gg,
mhm,
and having a chatbot that could be conversational and keep engagement within the server would be something that would be amazing.
mm,
And it's gonna be more amazing if it has personality. I've seen some bots actually like that, but it's very AI-ish, for really the words that are being provided, or the answers from the bots are really bots. So
mm,
if we can make a bot that has personality, that has like the exact personality of a community manager or moderator that people would love to engage with it, it's gonna be entertaining for them to stay on Discord. But I
mm.
don't know how it's going to be implemented. Yeah.
So, well, for us, the first implementation will be taking the trained bot, so the project bot, and then having that as a way, like a channel. We're still like this is still in development. We only really just sort of started really pushing forward that
Hmm.
relatively recently. Um, but currently would be a channel within your Discord that anyone can talk to about the project. So you've got and this could be any project, this is, you've trained up your chatbot with all of these websites and information, and now anyone can ask that channel a question about whatever that particular bot has been trained on. Um, so it's more, let's say you've got a project, Playfix, and you want to know about the tokenomics of the Playfix, then you would just, rather than sort of putting it into the general chat and hoping, um, or having to create a ticket of some sort, you just have this project chat, which anyone can ask questions of the white paper or the website or the knowledge base or whatever guides. So that's the first implementation of it. Um, because that kind of aligns with, it would be the same chat on your website as is in your, Discord, um, and eventually could be on WhatsApp or other messaging platforms. So it's this nice unified personality, conversation, and information.
Hmm.
Um, Again, also Twitter. It could be responding to questions on Twitter as well. So there's lots of these opportunities um,
Does it
where, go on.
sorry, does it have like a preset that people can uh, press, or that they can choose whenever they go to the Discord? And is there a like a slash, what they call, forward slash, or
It's like, yeah. So at the moment, like as of right this second, it doesn't have slash commands. It would just be a channel that you go in and chat to.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that's more engaging in a way because it's
Yes,
like you're just chatting, not a prompt or not
exactly.
or a slash. Yeah.
Yeah, so you ask a single question and you get the straight response from it, and it understands who's who, and it has the sort of generally threaded. It's not a full
Wow.
conversation, but it's early days. We're just sort of getting to understand the Discord APIs and backend and infrastructure and stuff like that. In the future, though, there's no reason that you couldn't be building a bot that is much more conversational with the entire community. It just involves a lot more development work for the Discord, um, uh, the Discord API. But it could just be something as simple as slash command, which would work anywhere within the entire community. Um, so
I think that's why they usually use commands, because
Mm.
yeah,
then it gives them the accessibility outside of a specific channel to use it.
yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, it's only really starting days for the Discord integration, um, but it's absolutely like it's likely the first version. Everything should be versioned. The first version will just be create a channel. Okay, in this channel, here is your bot. Anyone that wants to ask a question about the project can just go straight in there, and that's really simple. Like this, you don't have to instruct Slack. It's just go there and ask a question. Um, Simple basic stuff, you know. Uh, but over time, yeah, probably slash commands, because as the bots have these tools that could call functions, you could use the slash command to use that bot to go and query CoinGecko, for instance, about that project. Do you know what I mean? So there are plans, but yeah, that's the first sort of rollout we'll get. I don't know the ETA on that, but it shouldn't.
Mm.
I don't think it's going to be
Mhm.
too far away. Um, but we're trying to strike a balance between building the web builder, which we want to try and get out as quickly as we can, um, and continue adding functionality to the chatbot. But again, I go back to it's a very small team. So there's only so many lines of code that can be written, even if it is AI assisted in a day.
That's awesome. I've seen the sneak peek that Sir Tobias sent me. The screenshot of
Yeah.
the message, and I got excited right away. It's it's awesome to have that in when I told him about the chatbot on Discord. I think you guys already are working on it, and it's like when I brought it up, he says, "Oh, it's almost done," and I was like, "Wow." And we were just talking about it like the other day. Yeah, Tarish.
Yeah, I think that would be a huge selling point for projects to
Mm.
Yeah.
onboard the Playfix AI chatbot, being able to
Mm.
utilize it for
But
their
what
discords, for their community.
yeah. What do you think, Tarish? Is it gonna be like the let's say the model of the is it gonna be subscription model? What's the best, for the business side? What do you think? Because you're so good at that, that's why I'm asking. Oh my god, the karaoke.
Honestly, for the Discord aspect,
Mm-hmm.
subscription model is the best way to go, because they're already used to paying subscriptions for their bots.
Mm.
A lot of their bots, they pay monthly, or they're free bots like Dino. You've got Vulcan. You've got a lot of these integration bots for Web3, for wallets, for verification, for security. So a lot of them are used to paying a subscription already.
Mm.
Yeah, and some bots out there actually you can customize, but it's like it's very very hard. That's why maybe if I am a Discord owner, I'm just going to pay for that subscription than me customizing myself a chatbot because on FE6, have you tried to customize a bot there? I tried, it took me 3 weeks and I haven't finished anything. And it's nice to have this tool like the Playfix one, uh, the platform where you can create the chatbot like easily. I mean, um, it's not that hard or it's not that complicated. It's like a um, it's oh my god, it's morning.
Mm.
Why? Yeah,
It is. It's very straightforward. Like building a bot on
straightforward. That's
Playfix is very straightforward. It's like fill in um, 10 or so form fields, and then give it the URLs and of what websites you have, your documentation or knowledge base or whatever, a website, and then upload any documents, and then wait 10 minutes. That's it, done. You've completely built the bot. Then you can get the code and embed that into a website. So now you have a chatbot on your site or any page, right? Any website or web page you control. And then Discord, you just currently you would just be sort of create a channel, get the channel ID, and then fill in, the Discord integration. That's it, done. Job's done. You now have that same chatbot on Discord. So going from
Mm,
zero to a full kind of consistent
mm,
personality and consistent messaging and consistent information across multiple channels is 10 minutes work. And I think that's the power of AI is that all of this stuff can be done in the background. So you don't need to spend all of this time configuring and, set up. It should be simple. It should be simple. Um,
yeah,
so that's my goal.
AI actually has done a good job in automating, the people's jobs and not manually doing it. And we've actually it is like been touched before. Like there's a lot of jobs that AI can replace, but the people that are doing those jobs before can improve their skills using
Mm,
AI as well, so that they can
mm,
elevate or they can improve their life. They can improve their jobs, and their living. So it's like the AI is not eliminating anyone. It's just elevating whatever or making better. Oh my God, sorry about that. Sorry about the dogs. It's like making uh, the things that we have right now, the skills, even the tools, it's making it better. So I
mm,
just hope that those who are seeing AI in a negative way, I hope that they also see the positive sides, because I've been,
mm.
you know, I've been getting some like conspiracy theories or something. So yeah. And Therese, what you mentioned the Copilot earlier. Oh my god, I've been using that as well. It's a real time kind of thing. And I am really curious. Can we, like, for example, if you index the whole website or the website link of CoinGecko on the, if you index that, will it catch the data, the live data?
Currently, you wouldn't index like with us. You wouldn't index CoinGecko. We've got an integration with the APIs, so you can get up to date information. So you can just ask. I think Tobias said that has been pushed live. I'm not going to confirm that, but if there's a ticker in the bot, like BTC or whatever, you can say, "Give me the last, the last 10 days trading volume," and it will go run the query, get the information from CoinGecko, bring it back, process it, and then display it for you. So you don't have to index. It'll do
Mm,
it live. So you can get like right now, what is the current price of X? Um, uh, so as far as using these bots as a tool to kind of check everything, it's not quite the use of these tools. It's more about you have this single focused information you want to try and add uh, a portal to. Um, that's kind of why we're focused on a singular product for a singular bot. Um, that's really the main focus of these tools at the moment. Um, over time, when we've got the builder and these sort of things out, you'll be able to build much more robust bots that span, an entire thesis or an entire niche of say projects rather
Mm,
than a singular one. Um, it's just time at the moment. It's just time and really what the community kind of how the community uses the tools and the feedback we get from using the tools, and of course feature requests.
mm,
That's what's going to sort of drive the direction of how we build these tools. Because at the end of the day, you know, we just want to build things that help people make money.
mm.
That's really what we want to do.
And sorry.
Yeah.
And
No.
actually, this is one of the things that I am uh, trying to push, because there's a lot of people as well that has the talents. They have they have the they have the ability to create things as well. They have the ability to build, and we have the platform. That's why
Mm,
the ambassadors, actually, I've been trying to have the structure of Playfix ambassador, and I came up with this. So I actually built, or I actually created the chat, the group chat for those who are willing, or for those who wants to learn AI prompting. And from that, if they want to be, if they can do some AI chatbot, or they will create AI chatbots, we will be giving them like the role of Playfix generals.
mm,
And it can be improved as we go, regarding the percentage of,
mm.
if it's like gonna be a product or something. But that's, as of the moment, is approved. And yes, guys, we will be looking for the Playfix generals, because you guys, you are two people, and you've built a lot of amazing tools already. If we have more, then we can create more.
Mm.
And we have
Yeah.
bright minds out there like Therese. Therese will be like the generals of the generals. Would you like that, Therese?
Oh God. I don't need like now you're literally trying to give me minions. That's scary.
Yes, yes. Imagine that. And I have 20 people already on the group chat. So if you want, guys, if you want to be part of the search for the Playfix generals, just DM me or go to the Discord and raise your hands. Raise your hands. So thank you, guys. I think we don't want to,
Mhm.
overwhelm our listeners, and we've been, an hour and almost, 1 hour and 18 minutes, but we have 1,709 viewers. Oh my
Wow.
God.
That's
Sorry,
incredible.
it's because my camera is off. I don't have my face on. I'm
Your
just kidding.
camera's off. You haven't sung. Like, geez,
Oh
what's
my
going
God.
on tonight?
I'm not gonna sing
But
because it's broadcast is also on YouTube, and we will get a,
Oh yeah, can't get
oh
banned.
yeah, yeah,
as
the copyright. Yeah, I hate that.
copyright.
But yeah. So I look forward to talking with you more, Ben and Tobias. I'll be
Mm,
stopping in the Playfix chat. And at some point, hopefully, I'll be getting my laptop set up, so I'll be able to explore a little more the chatbot
fantastic.
creation process. Thanks for having me.
Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Thank you. Thanks, Ali, for
Therese.
hosting.
Thank you so much, Ben and Therese. And here are the community members. I'm just gonna flash. Thank you for the what? I
Useful
thought
discussion. Thank
discussion.
you
Oh,
for this useful discussion.
all right. Well, Randan joining Discord. So thank you so much, everyone, and till tomorrow. I see you tomorrow, the same time.
Bye, guys.
And yes.